look.
What is going on, y'all? It is your boy Swarko here, and welcome back again to another video. I just kept holding it off, like probably for like over like a year now. Ever since my first life of cycle, people been wanting to know what happened to my leg. I've actually since birth been born with a bleeding disorder. This bleeding disorder is called hemophilia, so you can look it up. I'm gonna try to put it right here. You can look it up. I'm basically lacking a protein in my body to allow my blood to clot internally. I think I got that right. So that means that, for instance, say if I accidentally bump my elbow too hard or bump my knee too hard, my knee or my elbow will swell with blood, and I got to take this certain kind of medicine in order for it to stop the bleeding internally. So now that you know about hemophilia, I'm going to start off with what caused all this, having me to get can I get it up here? Having me to get this. Yeah, in 2009, I was 9 years old at this time. I was riding a bike. I was about 4 hours away from home riding a bike. I was at a camp, a kids camp, and it was a steep hill, very steep hill. We were just coming back by the horse pastures, and we just took turns going down the hill because we had to continue with the bike path or whatever. And so it was my time to go. Kind of hesitated for a little bit because it was very, very steep. You know, it was weird because I think I hit a rock. I think I hit a rock or something, and my handlebars like completely went right. Like, just I was riding like this, and then the bike was just on its side like almost instantly. And I don't know, still to this day, I don't know how I did it, but during that fall I hit my knee. Around that time when I was 9 years old, I was pretty aware of what could have been a bleed and what could be a bleed. I fall, I get right back up on the bike, and I continue on, which was where it kind of went wrong, and it was kind of some miscommunication on other people's part, I believe. Usually when a kid falls, you know, they go and they get seen. Well, I didn't get seen until probably like 11 o'clock that night. So I wake up, my knee is just all types of swollen, it's bleeding inside. I go and get one of the counselors go take me to the medical lodge or whatever, you know. At the time when I was 9 years old, I had really bad veins, and to get my medicine, you have to take it through your veins. I wasn't able to get my veins accessed so I can get medicine. My parents get called, they come and get me, I go to the hospital, and this is probably where the journey starts. After the incident, my knee will actually be in a actual bad position. My knee will essentially be stuck in one place. So take your knee, for example, and just bend it how you normally would if you're at your computer desk. My knee was probably like that for maybe 4 years, 5 years total. I had to use a walker, had to use a wheelchair, had to get around using only those two things. I used crutches. This is where I kind of speed up the story a little bit, but for about 4 to 5 years, I spent my life in a wheelchair, rolling around, going to school, doing my thing. And you know, those 4 or 5 years, I had about probably 5 knee surgeries, or 4 surgeries. 1 through 3 had the same exact result. It was just have surgery, and my knee would literally go back to its frozen stance. And I just had to kind of adapt to it because it felt like nobody was able to help me. No doctors was able to help me, like, actually find out my situation. In November of 2014, when that came around, it was gonna be my 4th or 5th. I can't really remember, to be honest with you. That's sad, ain't it? And basically, this doctor, he basically said, I can either remove your kneecap, which was option number 1, to kind of, I guess, get more motion in my knee so it will be able to flex like it normally should. Ended up the second option, which was my leg will basically be, it's fused together. That's the word, it's fused together. So I'm out of surgery, I'm sitting on the hospital bed. I'm sitting there with a fused leg. My leg is finally straightened. I'm actually feeling kind of good, but I can't feel my toes or my foot. I can't feel the lower half of my anything from the knee down. I couldn't feel. And weeks went on, I wasn't able to feel my foot anymore. I wasn't able to feel my toes anymore. I wasn't able to feel the lower part of my leg anymore. So that's when the concern really started. I had got a I forgot the name of the surgery. I should have had all these facts written down, and I wish I knew the name at this very moment. But I had a surgery that they went inside of my calf on my right leg to try to alleviate whatever was blocking the blood flow from my knee to my foot. So with my foot not having any type of blood flow or whatnot, basically it was a cause for concern, I would say. I do remember that I probably waited a couple of days to probably like a week to see after the surgery, what were going to be the actual results of this surgery. Like, is it going to work so I can, finally get some blood flow down to my foot? Turns out that I never got blood flow down to my foot. Probably after a couple days to probably like a week or so, my toes actually started turning black. Like, my foot was turning black. Obviously I couldn't see, but nurses and doctors and my parents could see it. My foot was turning black on the bottom half of it, and basically that was what prompted me to get my leg amputated. That's kind of like the final straw. I mean, there's no blood flow to my leg, my foot is turning black, running out of options, and so just the next thing on the table was amputation. And mentally, it was just too much to process. I probably remained in the hospital for another 2 months. Just extensive physical therapy, extensive strengthening of my now amputated leg to try to prepare me for this life that I live now, which is actually pretty normal. I walk pretty normal. If I had pants on, you probably wouldn't even notice. And it was just a lot to process mentally, and there was a lot going on just in general. Definitely the strength of through Christ that got me through a lot of these things and a lot of the challenges that I faced when I was in the hospital. Does that conclude the story? I don't think it concludes the story. It's a part of my life that I don't let it define me. I don't let me having a prosthetic leg define me. When you go through this kind of when you go through what I went through, it's all about how you come back. It's all about how you bounce back and you get back to the person that you want to be, or to the person that you are. And YouTube, it allowed me to express myself in different ways, and so that's when I just started kind of wanting to continue on. So I started my YouTube up. I got involved. I started doing what I love, which is gaming. Don't let anything that happened to you change you. Easy as it for me to say, I honestly kept going, and just stayed, on the positive side of things. And eventually, I got my first leg. Eventually, I started to walk again. And this wasn't possible without my family and my parents, and most importantly, Christ. But be grateful. Just be grateful, guys. And it's been your boy Cool 100. If you have any questions, I will be doing a Q&A after this video. I will see y'all later. Thank you for listening to your boy, and I'm out of this thing. Yeet.